Guys, how's it going? Daniel here. A couple of months ago, well, last year, Google released that it was going to be adding podcasts to its Google Play Music app since last year. And finally, this year, they released it and they've released the update, which you could get right now into Play Store for your Google Play Music, where you can now listen to podcasts from the app now too. So it makes sense for Google to add podcasts to its Google Play Music since Apple has it on iTunes, and well, Apple has its own separate podcast app if you want to listen to a podcast app, which Google does not. So instead, they what they did was added inside Google Play Music, which makes sense, but also doesn't make sense. Where they should have maybe released its own app, but they want to mix it with music, so why not? So when you open the Google Play Music, you'll be shown, of course, your own music. But then if you swipe from left to right, you get to see a podcast option right there. You click it, and then it shows you the latest podcast on Google Music. So it's really awesome. It's really cool. So here you can see, of course, some of the podcasts that are on Google Play Music. So you could check out different types of categories. So if you're into games and hobbies, you could check out some of the games and hobbies podcasts out there. If you're a fan of technology stuff, you could check out podcasts like right here, like the Reply All one that I listen to. So it's really awesome. It's really fun too. Or if you want, you can listen to my podcast, another tech podcast too, if you want, on Google Play, and subscribe to it if you want to. So it's really awesome. It's a free update, of course, and so yeah, it's you can now listen to podcast on your Google Play music and mix it up with music too if you want. So it's a easy way just to, if you're not a big podcast listener and you'll rather want to not have to find another podcast up on Android, I recommend you just use this one. But if you're a hardcore podcast listener and enjoys listening to podcasts on Android stuff, you probably know that there's better podcast up there, like Pocket Cast is the one I use. So that one is like the best one right now on Android. But of course, Google is just doing this for how do you call it? Just to get much more attention to Android, I guess. And also, they're probably gonna do some machine learning stuff on it too, as well, like Google, like they always do, where depending on which podcast you listen to, they will try to figure out more podcast roles that you might be interesting from the taste that you have chosen already from the past. So it's like I said, it's a free update, of course. It's really easy to use, simple. You can search up your favorite podcast. If it's not there, then that means probably the people either have not updated it, or they just Google maybe messed up. So that's it for now, guys, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.